powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 5:30 News on KPAX, Montana's news leader.
Good evening, I'm Jill Valley.
And I'm Dennis Bragg. When you call for help in Lake County, it's frequently up to a deputy to save your life during those critical first minutes.
And now they'll have a state-of-the-art equipment in the car to handle that critical assignment and the training to use it, as Augusta McDonald reports.
When someone's heart stops beating in Lake County, sheriff's deputies might actually be the first people on scene who could save their life. Now they'll be carrying new equipment that could help them do that.
23 AEDs, that is, automatic external defibrillators, have been installed in every officer's cruiser, plus there's one in the courthouse. A local family foundation granted $25,000 to provide these devices.
I was actually in the community one day and a gentleman and him and his wife walked up and says, "This is something we do in the communities. We did it in other communities. We would like to see whether Lake County Sheriff's Office would like to be part of this." And I said, yes, we would.
Sheriff Bell says all deputies and many of the courthouse staff are trained and are ready to use the new AEDs.
You pull this down, it's pretty simple. The green, this tab here, we pull this tab, out comes the trays you can see with the pads in it. We will open the pads up, one to go on the chest here, one to go on the side of the chest here. You push the heart button, it checks the patient, what rhythm or what it needs, or whether it needs a shock. If it needs a shock, it'll tell us. It tells you it's charging, it tells everybody to stand clear, and then you push the shock button, it will shock the person, and then it'll tell you to start doing CPR again, doing chest compressions and breathing. I know in my career, I've did CPR on five individuals, 3 adults and 2 infants, and I would love to have had one of these to increase the odds on those people.
He says the devices will increase the patient's chances of surviving.
Reporting in Polson, I'm Augusta McDonald for MTN News.
There was also an AED in the Lake County Jail.
A fatal shooting in Pablo remains under investigation, according to Lake County prosecutors. Law enforcement are trying to piece together what happened back in mid-September, which ended with a man being killed. 28-year-old Ryan Black was released about a week after the shooting on his own recognizance because prosecutors said they began checking out the possibility the shooting was in self-defense. Well, now the Division of Criminal Investigation is planning to recreate the scene to determine Black's motive for shooting 34-year-old Johnny McKeever. Prosecutors say there's currently no timeline on when that investigation might be wrapped up. Black remains released pending the filing of any formal charges. Switching over to weather, a beautiful day out there, but some heavy wind and maybe a little rain in the forecast later in the week. Let's take it over to Russ Thomas now for an update on the forecast.
Yeah, first of all, what a great day we've seen all across western Montana today, following up a beautiful Sunday as well. Can we keep the string of days going? I think for some we will tomorrow. For others, it is going to be a little bit more about clouds and rain. Wally Rice sending this photo and taken in Columbia Falls, Flathead River. Look at the beautiful color, blue sky. Very nice fall photo by Wally. Thank you so much. We're getting so many of these. I'm trying to fit them in wherever I can, these great photos. Now here's what we've got. Our wind advisory in place for just about all of western Montana tomorrow from noon to 9. You see the numbers there, and we'll have more details coming up for you in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks so much, Russ. To keep an eye on the changing conditions in western Montana, all you need is a mobile device. Just download the KPAX Storm Tracker weather app to get on-the-go forecast from our special Storm Tracker team. It's free in the Google Play or the App Store. After years of listening to hundreds of business owners and thousands of citizens, the city of Kalispell now has a plan to redesign its downtown area. This proposal looks at parking, the historical integrity, landscaping, and other improvements to create a downtown image. The city's plan calls for developing a 3-lane road system through the middle of downtown to function as a main street, not as a highway. However, the Montana Department of Transportation wants to create a 4-lane road system around the courthouse couplet. City Planning and Building Department Director Tom Gent says that would create more traffic than the city can handle.
The traffic would be so intense, the noise would be so extreme, retail opportunities would just about be non-existent. Second concern is, as that traffic goes all the way through Maine and Idaho, that key intersection cannot handle a 50% increase in traffic volumes.
Tonight at the City Council meeting in Kalispell, they'll set a public hearing on this plan.
In the face of a changing climate, Montana's top scientists are in northwest Montana to present their findings from the first ever Montana Climate Assessment, which was released a few weeks ago. The 2-year study was led by Montana Institute on Ecosystems, a statewide center based at both Montana State and the University of Montana.
We're very confident about the fact that we're warming up, and we're warming up both in the winter and the summer significantly. So we're due to see that continue by end of century. We're talking about an 8-degree increase in annual temperature, 8-degree Fahrenheit increase.
The MCA explored past climate trends and their effect on Montana, as well as how future projected climate changes may impact water, agriculture, and forestry. The overall goal is to bring to inform Montanans about the state's changing climate so they can better plan for the future. The MCA focused on 3 sectors that Montana stakeholders identified: water, forest, and agriculture. The MCA found that all 3 of those have experienced impacts from climate change already over the past 50 years. Spokeswoman for Glacier National Park says the park has been seeing those extreme conditions over the past several years.
Whether it's fire, whether it's water, and so sort of that broad natural and cultural resource protection, and what that might mean with extreme conditions, as well as what that might mean for, our over 3 million visitors that came to the park this last year, and what that means for park recreation.
Glacier Park Superintendent Jeff Mao's presentation, Fire and Ice Are Extreme Conditions, the New Normal in Glacier, will take place tonight at 7 in the Arts and Technology Building at Flathead Valley Community College. People are encouraged to attend. We'll have a full report on that coming up for you tonight at 10.
A pair of health insurers selling individual policies on the Obamacare marketplace in Montana can now file for new rates for 2018. That news today is a reversal from last Friday, when it appeared the companies would have to eat some substantial costs next year in the wake of the Trump administration canceling some subsidies. State Insurance Commissioner Matt Rosendale said today Pacific Source and the Montana Health Co-op can refile rates on certain 2018 policies. Both companies say they will file for higher rates to cover costs incurred by the loss of what are known as cost-sharing reduction subsidies. Those subsidies offset out-of-pocket discounts for low-income customers. The Trump administration announced last week it is canceling the subsidies, saying they were not properly authorized by Congress. Pacific Source Vice President Todd Loshing says the news means the individual policy marketplace will remain competitive in Montana.
It's really good that we were able to work with Commissioner Rosendale and CMS in order to reopen that window. It will allow us to really be in that level playing field and be in the marketplace. Montana has been fortunate and kept its 3 original insurers within that marketplace, and so I think competition is really healthy for this market.
Rosendale says he is disheartened by the company's new filings because they had said they would honor the original rates regardless of federal actions, but the insurer said they had always expected to file for new rates if the policy ground rules changed. The other company selling those individual policies in Montana is Blue Cross and Blue Shield.
New warnings today about the flu season just around the corner. People telling you, the authorities telling you, get your shots, but even so, health officials say there's ways to stay healthy. 5 tips to ward off germs this season. We've heard them all the time. Wash your hands, get quality sleep, eat healthy, exercise for your physical and mental health, and vaccinate to avoid disease. If you do start to feel under the weather, Kalispell Regional Healthcare is offering KRH Care Anywhere. It's an online clinic for minor illnesses. On the website, you can speak with a medical provider at any point of the day or night to get the quick care you may need. October is when many healthcare providers recommend you get those flu shots. Crews have been hard at work bracing up the remains of the burned out Sperry Chalet in Glacier National Park. The historic landmark burned to the ground in the Sprague fire back in late August. A 10-member crew flew up to Sperry Chalet last week. They're stabilizing the walls of the old dormitory building before winter sets in. Workers bracing those walls and gables and putting collars around the chimneys. Park officials say the crew is trying to protect the stone masonry structure from the snow that could push on the sides of the wall, as well as high winds. That work is expected to wrap up this week. The park will assess how the structure fared through the winter and then develop next steps next spring. The Glacier Park Conservancy launched the Sperry Action Fund campaign and supported all of the dollars for this stabilization effort.
Well, still ahead, Russ will talk about the windy and rainy work week forecast.
And later, the FBI is out with a new warning about an increase in fake kidnapping calls. What they want you to know coming up on KPAX.